Good morning, Vijay. So I've been like just right now I have like jumped on this train of thought. So I'm gonna begin with that. It may be a bit unfiltered, but I mean because I'm literally on the thought train right now. So I'm gonna explain the situation and okay. So yeah, let's just go. So you may have heard about the Super League news about they're gonna like a few top football clubs, elite football clubs were gonna make their own league in which only they could participate. They would always have their own seat, no matter how bad they were. They would always qualify for that league because they were the ones making that league. It was called the European Super League, right? It was the idea was they were trying to undermine the UEFA, which is another whole thing. But the point is that like there were like only five other teams were gonna come in that league based on merit, and initially all the important clubs joined it. A lot of the English clubs, some of the Spanish clubs, right? The main clubs, the founder of, founder, not founder, the head, whoever he is, I don't know the term, but the head, Perez, Florentino Perez, I think his name is. He is the head of Real Madrid, and he was planning the whole thing. So he actually made the European Super League. I think it was his idea. He was going to execute it, and there was a lot of controversy and a lot of backlash for that because the entire idea of the league football is that like they come up with this sort of pyramid structure where like in all the local countries of Europe they play football, and whichever leagues do the best get to go get to be qualified for UEFA, which is the entire European league, right? And so it's like a very good pyramid structure where the best teams would get to compete at the top, and it was like and it's a pretty good thing. Recently, there have also been like a lot of really bad things, money problems, in leagues going on, and there's a lot of like it's been a little unstable, and like fans have been talking about that for quite a long time. But this move that was taken by Paris was basically like what every football fan said was that this is a very bad thing and this is like the death of football because there's not going to be any competition anymore. Like let's say no matter how bad Barcelona is, they will always be in that league, right? And so that was one of the big problems of that, and it lasted for like about 2 to 3 days, but because of like the massive backlash, and even the entire UK government went against this, and UEFA was gonna ban all the clubs from playing in UEFA and FIFA and all the players, and it was a huge thing. You probably know about this. You probably would know about this from your friends that you live with. But just thought I'd just preface that. But yeah, so that like has sort of started running some ideas into my head, which I'll explain later. But like now this completely different thing, right? Is that I have started rewatching The Newsroom, right? And yeah, I know I've got a lot of good shows that I have left to watch, and why am I starting watch why I started watching this again doesn't make sense. But like I know, like I probably should be watching Peaky Blinders right now, like as everybody tells me to. But like I just feel like I want to watch stuff that is like relevant to me right now, like relevant to me, but like things that I care about right now, things that I want to think about, since now I have like now I have more free time and to work upon those things. So like okay, so like from Peaky Blinders I would not learn anything that's gonna be important for me. It's just entertainment, right? Like I know The Newsroom is also kind of like entertainment. I mean, it is entertainment in the end, but like they are, no matter how childish it may be, it is still like their idea and their moral is very good and straightforward. Like basically they're trying to present the news as it in a very positive way, and like no bullshit basically news, right? They're gonna present the actual news and their entire journey about that, which I like really like. I like that idea, right? And they are currently facing all this currently, I mean, in the show they face all these challenges from like the owners of the company, because they are in ties with so and so stuff which provide them money, which means they have to do things a certain way, and their ratings are dropping because they're just showing, you know, all the important information, and there's no entertainment, so they'll lose viewings as well. So that's been their issue. And like I've been watching Newsroom as well, and they recently I'm at like season 1 episode, I don't know, like some 7th episode or something like that, and they're at a huge, like they're in middle of a big pickle, right? That they have to, like, all these rating issues and come in. So I just finished the episode right now, and I'm talking to you right now. But the idea that I was having in my mind is that how do we fashion something without I mean, it's impossible, but my question is, how do you fashion any sort of service or anything without, you know, the inevitable advent of economics and you know, money into it, basically. Like something like football, you know, like football is much more entertainment, but like, which is still fine. So if there's money involved in it, like people who actually are into football, it will be bad for them, but it's still sort of fine. It's just a sport in the end. But like things like news is important, right? And recently we have been seeing what, like, you know, what has happened to TV news, not only in India, especially in India, but still all over the world, right? There's been like a huge problem with that as well. So my question is, how do we keep the economics out of it, right? And like what I'm thinking right now is that probably maybe, like, you know, because if we look at YouTube, right, even right now, there are like the top people on YouTube right now are all about money and uploading videos daily, and the whole shenanigan of the, you know, perils that have surfaced modern YouTube right now. But even still, there are still a lot of channels on YouTube which have you know, provided important things for free to us, like literally knowledge, context, and a lot of other things, like, you know, concepts, way of thinking, everything, right? From like an educational standpoint, YouTube has actually done quite a lot to both of us, right? I think you would agree to that as well. So I think my sort of idea here is that you know, like YouTube provides a platform for people who can, you know, make their standing not on a you know, not on a financial basis, but simply on the basis of the fact that people have a need of that, right? And so what I'm thinking right now, like as in this very moment right now, I'm thinking that what if like some very young people among us created like a YouTube channel of like the news or something, right? So like if like we come together and we present the news on the YouTube in the same, like it's in the same idealized way that the people in newsroom are trying to do, and it's like a very childish and a very silly thing, but I don't know, it just sort of makes sense to me because like in I think it may not be possible to do that on TV right now, but I think on YouTube it is possible to make you know, it's easy to sell a channel which will provide you good and unfiltered news, right? Like will so because our product will be good and important and relevant news, right? And I think there are a lot of people out here who need that, right? You see people constantly complaining everywhere that they need proper news, and this news is harming these people and things like that, right? So we need relevant information. So what I'm thinking is, can't we do that? Like, I'm not talking about the two of us, but like, can't anybody do that? Or is that really possible? What would be the problems that we could face It's still just, it's a concept. I'm not saying I'm gonna do it or anything, but it seems like a very good idea, you know. And I really feel like if not me, then somebody else should definitely do something in this regard, and I think that would be like really great. And that's just, what can I tell you, that's just something that I was thinking about. So there. By the way, there's been so many things that I wanted to talk about, like but there have been a lot of different things, but this one is the most fresh thing that I have just come across. So I just did sort of like an unfiltered talk right now, and as I don't know, I just want to see how my thought process looks when I actually just say it out loud, and turned out to be a good idea for the video as well. I had to do it right now, so I thought let's just go with it, and I do have a lot of other things, different things to say apart from this thought, but like I guess we'll do that in the next videos. I love to see how like far I've come, not in the sense of communicating, but in the sense of having things to talk about. Like right now, I have like a note prepared in which I'll just write down the things that I may want to talk about in the video. Right, at any time I think, okay, this is a good idea to talk about, or something interesting. There is something interesting here. I just write it down in a note. But this one was especially like, uh, you know, in the beginning there were not a lot of things to talk about, but now there are actually quite a lot of things that I want to talk about. And I think if I just don't put anything new in that note probably contains like at least a month's worth of things to talk about, if not more. So that's like really good. I have from having nothing to talk about to having too much things to talk about. I think that's a really good thing. It means that my process is good right now, and like I can talk about things that actually matter, and not about faltu videos that don't actually amount to anything. So yeah. Also, believe me, I want to say so many things about this. Like, there are 10 more things that I want to say about this right now, but I cannot, put them in a video. So maybe we'll talk about it in like a call or something like that. But I don't know, just some things that have been doing in my head. Like, I want to talk about both things about my own incompetence in about this idea, and whether I might be wrong in some places and whatever, and also about like in how I wanted to present this idea in a better, like all different things, but I cannot include them in the video. So sorry about that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you on Friday. Tuesday. Bye.